Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Empressive channel. I do want to talk about Angie Stone, and I'm sure a lot of you already know that she passed away tragically in a car accident at the age of 63 years old. She was traveling in a Sprinter, driving back from a show, and the Sprinter flipped over and a truck hit the Sprinter. And what's so crazy is, out of the group of people she traveled with, she was the only one who died. That's crazy. And yes, her passing was very, very, very heartbreaking because Angie Stone has left a huge mark in the music industry, especially on the neo soul music scene. She was one of the pioneers of that, and she was also one of the pioneers of hip hop, believe it or not. For those who don't know, she was a part of the first female rap group called The Sequence, and they were the first female rappers who got a gold plaque, and it was for their song Funk You Up, which was sampled by Dr. Dre, and also the song was interpolated by Bruno Mars and Mark Ronson for their hit song Uptown Funk. But unfortunately, Angie Stone and her group never received any royalties or credit for that sample. And when you really dive deep into Angie's story, there were a lot of situations where she didn't get the credit she deserved, and she was actually really cheated out of a lot of money from her label. She was signed to Arista Records. Clive Davis signed her, and she was cheated out of money from Arista and UMG. And you know UMG is currently going through a legal battle with Drake right now. So the fact that Angie was gearing up to sue the label says a lot. I mean, there's some crooked stuff going on over there.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. Where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. But they have taken all the monies that were due to me, people that were working on my behalf, never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to. So I am truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time. Because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made, supposedly. But there are key people that have been driving the ships. And what they've been doing is improperly representing me, improperly stealing from me, taking things in their own hand, changing and switching lanes because they knew I didn't know that part. The legal side, when you hire attorneys and managers and agents, they're supposed to make sure the gray area over there that they're in the driver's seat for, they're supposed to make sure you're taken care of. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. I mean, when you sit back and think Bruno Mars, Dr. Dre, when you think about all these people that have sampled music, if they're filthy rich on it, what's our problem? And that's why I'm telling on Universal and all the people that y'all work with me, y'all know who you are. You've been spotted. You've been seen. Your worth is useless to me now because I've seen the data. That's all I'm going to say. I got a team of people, a diesel crew, that's really trying to help me navigate things. And if I never get it, at least you heard it from me, because I don't know what they might do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me.
That was kind of eerie when she said that. She said, I don't know what they're going to do to keep from paying me all the money they owe me. Fast forward to now, she passed away tragically, and she was the only one in her vehicle who passed away. I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but I wouldn't blame anybody for thinking this whole thing kind of feels sacrificial. You know what I mean? And what's interesting is Angie said that she was facing spiritual attacks. She actually had a blood infection where she was really fighting for her life, literally.
I knew it was an attack. I knew it was a spiritual attack on me. However, I was treated And God healed me, cleared up. They cleared up the blood infection.
Now that Angie Stone has unfortunately passed away, hopefully her children are able to take on her fight to get what's rightfully owed to her, because this whole situation about UMG stealing from her has blown up. And now people are watching UMG and seeing how will they handle this. Will they give Angie her just due? I think Angie deserves her just due. It's unfortunate because she has dealt with a lot in the industry, and I will touch on that, but I do want to go down her list of accomplishments too, because she had a lot. She was a part of the first female rap group called The Sequence. She was also a part of other groups like Mantronics and Vertical Hold. And Vertical Hold also had an R&B radio hit called Seems Like You're Much Too Busy. Then she went on to be a songwriter for the labels, and then she was a solo artist. She was one of the pioneers of neo soul. She recorded 11 studio albums. She had hit songs like I Wish I Didn't Miss You, No More Rain, Brother, I Want to Thank You. She worked with legends like Prince and Lenny Kravitz. She actually played saxophone for Lenny. And also she helped write and do vocal production on D'Angelo's albums Brown Sugar and Voodoo, which were some very, very important albums for the neo soul movement. And they opened up the doors for other neo soul artists like Erykah Badu, Jill Scott, Maxwell. And what's interesting is after Angie completed her work on D'Angelo's Brown Sugar album, Maxwell's team reached out to Angie because they wanted her to give him a similar sound. When Maxwell was first trying to do music, he sounded more like Michael Jackson, but then his team realized that, wait a minute, this whole neo soul sound is the new wave. Let's go with this. And they wanted to recruit Angie Stone to do it, but Angie didn't want to because she didn't want to betray her man at the time, D'Angelo, and also she was drained from working on his album. But it came to show you that Angie had what people were looking for. She had the ear. She was a songwriter. She was a vocal producer. So people recruited her, and she actually played a really important role in a lot of people's careers. She played a big role in Erykah Badu's career. Her team actually helped push Erykah Badu. And not only that, she played a major role in Lyfe Jennings' career because he was an unknown artist looking for an opportunity, and Angie gave it to him. She actually allowed him to open up for her on her and Anthony Hamilton's tour, and she even cut her set 15 minutes short so that he could get a chance to perform. So she did a lot of stuff like that. And also, believe it or not, she actually helped Mariah Carey get signed. Now, Mariah was singing background for the artist Brenda K. Starr, and Brenda played Mariah's demo for a small label executive named Arthur Baker. And Arthur listened to the demo and asked Angie Stone whether or not he should sign her or should a major label sign her. And Angie said, let a major label handle this talent. And so that's what he did. He knew Tommy Mottola, and when Tommy heard Mariah, he signed her. And the rest was history. But Angie Stone was one of those people who played a role in that.
Little did Mariah Carey know that everything was hanging on the hinges of this little black big lip girl here. And Arthur Baker trusted my opinion enough to, number one, run it past my ears, and number two, ask my opinion on whether she should go to a major label or stay on an independent label. So, like I said, a secret that you didn't have to know, but she never knew. I never told her. Shout out to Brenda K. Starr for bringing Mariah Carey's tape to Arthur Baker. Shout out to Angie Stone for giving her the thumbs up way back when.
Angie's role in the industry wasn't even always music related. She sometimes helped people spiritually. In the early 90s, P. Diddy got into some serious trouble for overbooking this college event, which resulted in a stampede that claimed the lives of 9 people. And he was responsible for it, and he was getting threats about it. And he asked Angie Stone to pray for him.
I just happened to be in the studio this particular day. And because he never, ever really bothered with me or spoke to me in that fashion, I wasn't a part of Uptown. I was just at MCA. On this particular day, I was coming off the elevator. I will never forget it as long as I live. And Puffy came to me, first time, speaking to me as a decent human being. And he said, "Hey, Miss Stone." I said, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "How are you?" I said, "I'm fine. I'm shocked you speaking to me." He said, "Miss Stone, would you please pray with me?" I said, "Well, of course." When he asked me to pray with him, I believe at that moment Puffy was terrified for his life. I think that he was afraid because all of the things that had gone out and about that party, they were singling him out, and I don't think that he thought he was going to survive it. And I was just happy that whenever he didn't speak to me, I knew he couldn't see me. But on this day, he saw the God in me, which was so not about me, but it was so about the spirit that I carried.
I thought that was a rather interesting story, but Angie had other accomplishments. She actually sang the theme song for the hit sitcom Girlfriends. She also acted in a few movies. She acted in The Hot Chick. She also acted in Fighting Temptations alongside Beyonce and Cuba Gooding Jr. And she went on to do reality TV. She was most notably a part of R&B Divas, but that reality show was very, very messy, and Angie Stone actually had to walk away because her fiance, Ashanti Graves, was cheating on her with one of the producers on the show.
We became like catfight divas.
Yeah.
And that was something that I didn't sign up for. The people, the powers that be, were so messy. I found out someone in the production team was dating my then fiance.
Girl, listen. I
Right.
still can't get over the fact that there was a person on the production team.
Yeah.
Like, how was she doing? Was she manipulating like schedules and whatnot so she could go slide into your man?
Booking secret hotel rooms.
What?
I know because they were all on my text messages when she thought she was texting his phone. It was really my business phone.
Because you the boss lady.
That whole R&B Diva scandal wasn't the only drama that Angie had to deal with. She had to deal with a lot of drama regarding her relationship with D'Angelo. Angie and D'Angelo's relationship was scrutinized heavily because she not only was older than him, but some people felt like she wasn't attractive enough to be with him. She was dark-skinned, she was plus size, she just didn't fit the image that they liked, and people in the industry were actually working to sabotage their relationship.
He pursued me. I did not pursue him. I thought he was older than what he was because he had an old soul. At the time, we were just the best of friends. As time grew, we ended up falling for each other. The minute he decided to become a sex symbol, or the industry cultivated a sex symbol, I became dog meat to them. People want to know about D'Angelo and I. And it came to me via one of the employees that worked for that company that represented him. It was told to me that they were single-handedly put in charge of sending out letters everywhere to make people think that I was the cause of him being exposed to alcohol, to drugs, to everything that could have gone wrong. And that person knew that it was all fabricated. So the person let me know, and has gone on record to say that when the time comes, they will step up to the mic and let it be known that that was their assignment, to destroy my credibility by way of making me look crazy in a relationship that was innocent and pure.
There was a lot of damage done to Angie's career behind her relationship with D'Angelo. People wanted to ruin that connection so bad, and they wanted to ruin her so bad that it did affect her standing in the industry at one point. She also faced jealousy from other women. She actually did an interview, and this female reporter literally told her to her face that she was sleeping with her man. It was really, really wild, but Angie Stone and D'Angelo had a bitter fallout professionally when people started crediting Angie for D'Angelo's success. She was the only one who could really get him to sit down and finish his albums. But once Angie started getting credit for her contributions to D'Angelo's music, he became very prideful and bitter about it, and he grew to resent Angie.
Everybody and their mama wish Angie and Stone and D'Angelo would get back together and work again. His pride as a man would not allow him to do that because he doesn't want to share the credit.
After all of that, their professional relationship was never the same, and their personal relationship was never the same either. They shared a son together, but D'Angelo wasn't exactly the most agreeable co-parent. The public relationship that Angie had with D'Angelo was pretty traumatizing, to the point that she really didn't want to be in a similar situation like that ever again. Even when the heartthrob actor Idris Elba tried to date her, she wouldn't do it.
Idris and I were like sister and brother. We both had the same manager. And, you know, the little crushing here and there. He was smitten with me, I think, because I wasn't pushing up on him like that. I just couldn't do it. And so I had heard many stories where he had told people, I know he'd been looking for me, told people he was really digging me, and I won't give him the time of the day. But I wanted to keep my friend, and in order to do that, I knew I couldn't cross lines because I really valued the friendship. I had already had a high-profile relationship with D, and so I really didn't want another one. And I just didn't want to be hated by the world anymore. So I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Angie also had other disappointments in the industry. She expressed her disappointment when Mary J. Blige took two of the records she did with D'Angelo, one called Every Day and another one called Die, which Mary renamed Paradise.
When I wrote Every Day, it was my song, always my song. D'Angelo and I had written a song for me, a project I was working on for me. We also had written a song called Die, which she calls Paradise. Now, mind you, they went and put Every Day out with her singing on top of me, left all my vocals in. They did the same thing with her version of Die. It's called Paradise. And they took the song without permission and released it to the internet. The ultimate disrespect. The label called me up. Her label called me up maybe 3 years ago and say, hey, we got this version. Did you know that the Mary J. Blige version of Every Day, such and such and such, I won't go into the details. And I'm like, yeah, are we still there? They got a whole label cover that they actually released and tried to get money for. That's when I got tight. I got tight because I'm like, you don't do that. Don't. Why would you take mine? Why would you take from me? You don't have to. You are a megastar. You are a multimillionaire. You have everything and everyone in your corner. Not to mention, in the very beginning when no one was believing in you, I stood there. I believed in Mary J. Blige. I took Mary J. Blige to my house after her managers begged me to coach her.
Angie also talked about how some people in the industry wanted her sauce. They had Jill Scott copying her style.
Jill Scott. But lo and behold, I would eventually find out that she was basically shadowing me, following just what was going on with me because they were getting ready for her to drop her project. And her team, not Jill, but her team, wanted all of the people that did my hair, my makeup, and styled me. They wanted my team to work for Jill Scott because they wanted the same attention. That's the part that made me go, We were both scheduled to perform at an award ceremony. I walked out on stage with a tie-dye dress on, and Jill walked out from the other side of the stage with the exact same dress on. I was like, oh my God.
Jill Scott also took the role that Angie Stone was supposed to play, and it was in the show The Number One Ladies Detective Agency. This wasn't Jill's fault, though. It was Angie's team that fumbled her acting opportunities.
Yes, I was almost chosen for that show. At the time, Idris Elba was a part of the show. And Idris called me up. He said, sis, he said, who's representing you? He said, the only reason you didn't get the job is because your team misrepresented you. He said, Jill had just come off of a movie and he recommended they give it to her, not knowing I had auditioned and that they had chose me. It was at that point that I had to go and reevaluate my team. I won't call their name, but they dropped the ball. Instead of really pursuing for me and fighting for me, they were so busy trying to get in everybody else's hair.
Angie not only had to deal with her team fumbling her acting career, but also she had to deal with the disappointment regarding her image. For a long time, Angie Stone got criticism over her weight.
And I'm in the dark. That was what they did because I was overweight and they didn't want anybody to know how overweight I was. So they shadowed me in the dark. So all you saw was my face. That was an attempt to cover me so that it wouldn't hurt the sales.
Why did you leave Clive Davis to begin with?
I think I was rubbed the wrong way when I found out I didn't make the Oprah show because of my weight. Oprah Winfrey did a big special on Neo Soul, and every artist was on there from Jill Scott to India Arie. I think Alicia was on there for Falling, and I was the only artist that was not on there. Well, you have to know that it devastated me when my manager at the time was Breon Prescott, and he turned around and told me, Angie, Clive wouldn't let you go because of your weight. He didn't want you to be on there because he felt like you were too big.
The whole weight situation wasn't the only reason why Angie wanted to leave Clive and Arista Records. She also wanted to leave because she felt like D'Angelo's team was affecting her standing on the label. She noticed that her budget was being cut, and also she was really upset when she found out that Clive Davis's golden girl, Alicia Keys, took the name of her album.
You know, I usually have $1 million album budget. They wanted me to make the record for $500,000. And at the time, I had Diary of a Soul Sister. It was what the album was going to be called. Well, the straw that broke the camel's back was shortly after that, they told me I had to change the name of my album because Alicia was doing Diary of Alicia Keys.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, my chest sunk in. And I wrote Clive a letter and asked for a release. I just felt like I was kind of pushed out. D'Angelo had lost his deal with Virgin. I made a phone call, and I got Clive and Peter Edge to sign him to J Records. Lo and behold, I believe his manager at the time, not knowing it had come through me, basically made a deal. I'm thinking they made a deal that we'll come, but she has to leave. Oh. And so I kind of got a feeling my album budget got cut.
Even though Angie went through a lot of disappointments and setbacks in the industry, she still created and always kept herself busy. She was always releasing music, and with her legacy now being acknowledged, hopefully she is able to get paid from UMG because they owe her those royalties. But anyway, rest in peace to Angie Stone. I send my condolences to her family and her friends, her loved ones. Tell me what y'all think about this video down below. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video if you care. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.